حياكم الله متابعينا الكرام من جديد في فيتستوري، حيث نسطر أروع القصص في تاريخنا الرياضي. ضيف حلقتنا اليوم نجم فوق العادة، بطل العالم في إحدى أصعب الرياضات، رياضة الكاليستنكس في فئة اللايت ويت. رحبوا معانا بضيف حلقتنا روجر خيمينيز طوليان. روجر, it's very nice having you here today.
Thank you so much for inviting me. Really excited to start with the interview. And yeah.
Roger, you're the world champion.
Yeah, the current lightweight
I
world
can't
champion.
believe I'm sitting with the world champion right now.
Yeah. Well, I met you like long ago. I
Yes,
met you
yeah.
before I was a world champion.
Yes,
yeah.
but just thinking about it is different.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay, Roger, tell us about you. I want to know, who is Roger? Tell the audience, who is Roger exactly? Where did you start from? Your background.
So, my background, I started doing sports when I was like really little. I was maybe like 7 years old, because my uncle was like a professional climber.
Okay.
So
nice.
since then, he just started taking me to the mountains to just climb, practice climbing and everything. And I started off with this, basically only climbing, until the age of 15, 16. At that point, I was competing internationally. I was going through Europe, doing a lot of competitions.
You're competing in rock climbing?
In rock climbing,
Okay.
yes, before calisthenics.
Yes.
And yes, around 15, 16, I was burnt out. I couldn't climb anymore because I felt a lot of pressure. I was really young. I dropped out. I stopped. Suddenly one day I was like, I want to stop. And then after a while I got into calisthenics, and I loved it.
What got you into calisthenics?
So basically, after climbing, I was one day, I don't know what to do, so I went to a normal gym to do weightlifting. I saw one guy doing a muscle up, doing a pull up and going on top of the bar, and I was impressed. I was like, "What's that?" And I kind of forgot about it. And then a week later, I was walking in the park and I saw a few more guys, the same guy was there doing more muscle ups and different movements, and I got really interested. So I was a bit shy. So the next day, I went to Facebook and I sent them a message.
Okay.
Hey, can I go and join you guys? He's like, yeah, of course. They welcomed me, and I went there, and then I started from there. And since that day, it's kind of I found my passion, because weightlifting, I was doing it because I like to be active, but it wasn't my thing. And then as soon as I started doing calisthenics, seeing the type of training that requires the discipline and everything, I just loved it.
It's amazing. So what do you say to people who don't train because they feel like it's not their thing? You said you don't like weightlifting.
Yeah, exactly. I feel because I love calisthenics, you need to love calisthenics, right?
Yeah.
You need to do something that you're really passionate about. This is gonna help you, I guess, to have this discipline to keep going, and even if one day I'm not motivated, I'll still train because I wanna get better. I know I'm gonna see a progress in a month, 2 months, 3 months, and it's gonna I'll get my reward somehow, right?
Yeah, amazing. And you said this happened when you were 15, 16 years old.
Yeah, I dropped climbing when I was 15, 16. Let's say 15, and then when I was 16, 17 is when I found calisthenics.
Nice. And how old are you now?
24.
24. So you've been doing this for, let's say, 8 years.
Yeah, more or less.
So in 8 years, you went from a beginner to the world champion.
Yes.
How did that happen?
Yeah, the thing is is what I was telling you. When I started with calisthenics, at some point I was just crazy about it. I was I was training sometimes even 5 hours a day, because I was studying and working at the same time.
So you were studying and working?
Yeah.
What were you studying?
I was studying IT.
IT, nice. Okay, we'll come back to this later.
Yeah, I was studying IT. So yeah, because I didn't have much time, I used to wake up at 5 a.m. to train in the morning, and then after training I was going to work, I was going to do my studies, and then after studying, back to the park to train more.
Wow.
So yeah, that was a discipline part that I was okay with, though, because I was loving it. But yeah, and then after a year of knowing calisthenics, I went to my first national championship.
Nice. In Spain.
I did some small competitions next to my city, but just friendly ones, not really And doing these competitions made me realize that I was actually quite good in calisthenics. And then one day, like after doing these small competitions, like they announced that they would do the Spanish like championship. And I was super excited. I told my dad, like, hey, like, they're doing this, I think I can win it. They're like, but I'm a bit far from Madrid. I'm like 7-8 hours by car.
So you were talking about your city.
So my city is like quite far from Madrid.
We're talking about which city exactly?
My city.
What is it called?
Sorry, I didn't say that. It's next to Barcelona.
Next to Barcelona. Okay.
Yeah, it's a bit long, Santa Coloma and Farnese. Next to Barcelona, basically.
Okay,
Barcelona.
Nice.
Yeah, so from Barcelona to Madrid, you have like 7 hours by car.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and this competition was like maybe like a week after. So it was really tight. But I was quite excited because like I was doing like friendly competitions like around my area. And I was like actually like getting good results. So I went to my father and I told him like, hey, I think I can win the Spanish championship. And if I win, I'm gonna get like I'll get a flight to Russia to compete in the World Championship.
Okay.
And yeah, the moment I told him, he told me, I'll take you. So because I didn't have driver.
Your father was excited. He was into sports, or?
Yeah. So my father, he's been like always active, and his main thing is taekwondo.
Taekwondo. Okay, nice.
Taekwondo, yeah. He like on the side he teaches like taekwondo, like yeah.
And then what happened when your dad took you to Madrid to the competition? What happened there?
So my dad took me there after a week. Like as soon as I got there, it was really cool because I saw like so many athletes with like good level, like the best athlete like from Spain basically. So this gave me like so much like adrenaline and motivation. I just couldn't wait to like just go grab the bars and do my performance. And I also like they had like some international judges there. Like one of them was Eric Ortiz.
Yes, the trainer in gravity.
Yeah, the trainer in gravity. I met him there for the first time. Nice. He was already like a world champion in the other federation. So it was very exciting to see like international people like there, like to meet them, to talk about calisthenics. Which like
how did you fare? Did you win the competition?
Yeah, so that competition, like no one knew me, like, and I was really shy at the point. I've always been really shy, but before even more. So when I was there, I was always like I was super like seeing that many people, seeing like because they were doing it in the main place in Madrid, like the main how do you call that, like
let's say the main sports center or something like that.
No, it was outdoors on the street.
Oh, okay, nice.
But like let's say in La Rambla of Madrid.
Oh, La Rambla, the famous area
of Madrid.
Yes.
But I don't know how to call it.
No, it's very famous. Yeah, everyone knows it.
So that was like no, but in Madrid there's no La Rambla. I think there's like
La Rambla is in Barcelona.
Yeah,
sorry.
But it's like I don't know how to call it. Like I mean like an outdoor.
I think it's called Cibeles or something like that.
Yeah, so like it was outdoor basically.
Yes.
And it was full of people. So yeah, like I basically when I did my performance, there was like 2 rounds. I had to do 2 rounds. I did my first round. It went very well. Everybody like got shocked because I guess they didn't expect me like doing that many things because I had like a lot of combos already like prepared in my mind. I had like so many like new tricks that no one ever did before. So the first round went really well, and then I had few people coming to me. It's like, hey Roger, like you could win. Like your first round was really good. So like get ready for the second round. So we had 2 rounds of like 2 minutes each. And then I went to my second round, and I did really well. I did a couple of moves again that like no one has seen before, that I had ready like from before, and I didn't post them in Instagram. So I won.
You won the competition.
I won the competition, and this took me to Russia.
Wow.
To the World Championship afterwards.
Nice. Yeah. We'll talk about the World Championship, but I have a question. When somebody mentions Spain and sports, the first thing that comes to people's mind is probably football. Real Madrid, Barcelona, Spain national team. Or maybe right now, like sports like paddle. So my question is this: when you started calisthenics, was it popular in Spain?
When I started calisthenics, like not really. Actually, like the name, as like we didn't know calisthenics as calisthenics. We knew it as street workout.
Okay.
So for me, calisthenics at that point wasn't a thing. Like I just and then like with time, when I started, was like we had like only a few parks in Spain, not many. And then these last 4 or 5 years, like it evolved so much. Now almost like in every city, village, we have like a calisthenics park. So now like it's like way more known than before. That's like 100%, yeah.
Was it difficult when you first started? Because there were not many people doing it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like when I started, like it was a bit hard because right now, like you can always go to a coach and like they can coach. Okay, so you have to do this. At that point, we were just learning by watching YouTube videos and by doing like community events and just teaching each other. Like, hey, like I've got this new trick. Ah, yes, show it to me. We were like kind of like exchanging like tricks and like teaching each other. That was like the way of learning before, basically.
That's amazing. It's like a community-based thing, yeah.
Exactly, yeah, because we were kind of like, again, like calisthenics is a sport that it's quite new. Like the first World Championship was in like 2011, so it's really new. So it's just still evolving. But like when I started, the hardest was a 360. That now a 360, for the people that don't know, is not much. Like it's quite easy compared to what calisthenics is now.
Yes.
The tricks that we have now.
Yes. And then you said they took you to the World Championship in
Yeah,
Russia.
and then after that, by winning the competition, I had the chance to go to the World Championship in Russia in Moscow that same year in December, because that was in like I think that was summer 2015.
Nice.
So that same year in December, the Russian World Championship in Russia was taking place.
And
there.
then how did you do in the...
So since these last 4 months that I had to prepare myself, I was just like even like more focused than before. I was like super motivated. Like my life was like literally like only calisthenics. I was still studying and doing my things, but I was kind of putting it a bit aside because like calisthenics was just like all I was thinking about basically. And yeah, so I went to the World Championship and it went well. I think we had out of maybe 40 athletes, I was a 10th.
Nice.
So
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
First try.
But honestly, like the main thing was just like being able to like compete in a world championship. That was like for me this was already like an accomplishment. I was already like super happy, and again like to see like even more international athletes there, like the best ones in the world, right? For me it was just like super cool. I was like trying to talk to everybody there, although like I didn't know how to speak English, so it was a bit hard. But yeah, it gave me so much motivation.
Amazing. And then were you contacted by Dubai? Why did you move to Dubai in the first
Yeah,
place?
so basically like after the championship, the next year, like on 2016, I had a few more championships. So I won the King of the Bars in Spain. That took me to Germany to compete in the King of the Bars, like international, the biggest one. Then I won again the Spanish Championship, and I won again to Russia.
Okay. Nice.
But the Summer World Championship in Russia, in Moscow as well. And I took 4th place there.
Much better than 10.
Much better than 10, yeah. And we were like 80 athletes, like way more athletes. And then after this championship, I was kind of like they were already like, I was more like well known in the calisthenics world. So after a month, like from going to like Moscow, Gravity Calisthenics Gym from Dubai contacted me. And they asked me if I wanted to come to Dubai to teach and to just share my knowledge with people and teach people calisthenics. That's it. And yeah, and I said yes.
And it just took off.
Like yeah, took off. Yeah. I mean, I was a bit like nervous because I was quite young. I was 19 years old. But it was cool because I already because I've been always like kind of going into these community events, trying to teach people and everything. I had the knowledge of like teaching calisthenics to people. So I was definitely like willing to come here. I was very excited to come basically. And that's how I ended up here.
But it was a big step. You chose to follow your passion and you left your studies.
Exactly, yeah.
IT, yeah. So how did that pay off? How did that change your life, following your passion? So
basically, when I went to the Rush on 2015, when I went to the first World Championship, so I basically at that point I left my studies.
Okay.
Because I was like really like into calisthenics. I don't know if it was a good idea, but I thought, I'll try it. If it doesn't work, I'll go back at it. My family, they didn't really like agree with it. They were a bit, no, like don't leave it, just keep going with the side, try to combine it, but it was too much. Like I had to train really hard, I had to travel a lot as well. So I just couldn't study, I couldn't do like that, and I had to follow my passion. So I mean, it paid off at the end. But of course, at that point, like you don't really know if it's gonna pay off. But I mean, I guess you go for it.
You took a leap of faith.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
That's amazing. Okay, and now we move to the big thing, Battle of the Bars. Tell me, how did you become the world champion?
So basically, Battle of the Bars, they have like so many competitions around the world. They're called 16-man tournament. So it's 16 people competing against each other, one by one. And I did my first Battle of the Bars competition back in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
It was in La Mer.
La Mer, okay. Nice.
In La Mer, yeah.
I think La Mer just opened.
They just opened, yeah. They just opened, and then they did the competition there. It was like a big thing.
Nice.
And yeah, I won that competition. And this basically like with this competition, I earned the place to be able to like compete for the belt that I have right now.
Mm-hmm.
So in 2018, I had the world. I'm not sure if you know, but in 2018 I had the world championship as well. It was against one guy from Malaysia, but yeah, it was a bit weird because like I competed and like I lost, but the competition was a bit the points, the judges everything was a bit weird. So because for a lot of people it wasn't really fair, they gave me another chance. They gave me a rematch. And this was in 2019.
Yes.
I got the rematch. The Malaysian guy, unfortunately, like he couldn't come to Dubai, so he couldn't compete. So they took the world championship from the other federation, which he already battled in Battle of the Bars before. They took him to Dubai, and I competed against him. His name is Thomas. And yeah, and I won. In 2019 it was a muscle show in Dubai. I battled him, I won, and it was like amazing to become like the lightweight world champion.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And now you're defending your title.
Now I'm defending my title. I mean, it's been 2 years that I haven't competed because of COVID, yeah. But now next month I'm going to LA to compete and try to defend the title.
Amazing. You've battled people all over the world, Russia, US, UAE. How does that feel? You know, Roger the Kid. Would Roger the Kid be impressed by what you're doing?
No, 100%. I guess like I guess it's cool because like my whole life it's been about like sports and being disciplined. So I guess like that's what took me here as well. But you know, it feels cool. But at the same time, it's nice to like when you travel to different places because you meet so many people that they have the same passion. So as soon as you talk to them and you train with them, you get even stronger. I mean, every time I compete in a different place, in a new world, in a new championship and different part of the world, I get so much motivation. I get so much stronger always.
That's so nice. Do you have a signature move that you use when you want to win something?
I mean, I'm known mainly for my freestyle, for my style, and one of the main tricks, I guess, are like the dislocations. Mm-hmm. They're called. So like when I'm on the bar, I do movements where like I don't really dislocate my shoulders, but I use the mobility to put them through, and then do like certain tricks that they look cool on the bar. So that was one of the main tricks back in 2015 that I did in Madrid, that made people scream and go crazy when I was on the stage. So I still keep the same style, but of course always trying to add new tricks, because in competitions, like if I do the same performance that I did back in 2019, like I mean I of course I wouldn't win, right? Because like you need to keep improving and like evolving and getting better tricks. That's how it is.
MashaAllah, you've highlighted a lot of your successes, but I have a question about your setbacks. Yeah. So, did you have any injuries or anything that stopped you from training? Something that made it really difficult to continue?
Yes. Back, I think it was in beginning of 2018, I was training. I was like overtraining. I think on my 5th hour of like
yes, you do train 5 hours a day. So.
Yeah. I mean, depends. I'm trying to like control. For instance, like yesterday, I was training and I trained 3 hours, so I didn't reach to 5. But yes, like I was overtraining. I was doing a plunge and my wrist cracked. As soon as it cracked, I went back to the bar and I kept going, which is not a good idea. And the next morning, I woke up and my wrist was like swollen, and I had like sprain in my cartilage. And so this took me a long time. This took me like almost a year to recover.
A year?
Yeah, at some point I actually thought that like I couldn't
You're
couldn't
not
go
gonna
back to
make it back.
calisthenics, yeah.
And
Because
how long did you stop training? Like,
and the thing is, I went to the doctor and they gave me cortisone, which is not a good idea if you want to like heal it.
yes.
So this like took the pain away for a while, for 3 months, and then it came back stronger. And then like I did like a different treatment like PRP, and this like actually helped me. So it took around like a year or so.
Throughout this year, the world felt like it's not gonna be the same for you anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, a lot of people were asking like, "Where's Roger?" Because like I know I'm normally I try to be quite active on my Instagram and like always like show new things, like post stories, so people know that like I'm there training, I'm ready for any competition. So yeah, at that point, like I actually had so many people asking me like, "Where are you? Like, what happened?" Although I was kind of like, I mean, I wasn't really like talking much to Instagram, but once in a while I was posting like that I wasn't well, I had to recover, I had an injury, which is the worst when you're an athlete. It's the worst. It's
Yes.
a nightmare. Yeah.
It's a mental battle. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, it's mainly a mental battle, right? Because you cannot do anything. You just need to rest, take care of yourself, and that's it. And hope that you'll get better.
Do you have any role models in your life, especially that calisthenics is a new sport? You can say it's difficult to have role models because it's relatively new. But what about Roger?
I would say my role model. I would say is my uncle, because like he was when as I told you, like my background is climbing, so I think he became 3 times world champion in climbing.
Wow.
So for me, like when I was really little, I was looking up to him so much. The way that he was training every day, the way that he was even eating, his diet, everything. Like I was just like, he was kind of my idol. He still is. He still is, of course. Yeah. And then also, again, like people that surrounded me, like also my father, my friends, like feel like everybody helped me. No, I got this vibe from like all the community, friends, family that helped me to like just go for it.
That's amazing. And what does the future hold for Roger? I mean, after the Battle of the Boys, let's say you defend your championship. Yeah. What's next?
Let's see. I mean, let's see. There's also the option of like changing into different like weight categories and try to get like other belts, which is a thing that could happen, but I still don't know, of course. Now like the main focus is to like get this belt back, defend the belt, like keep it.
Yes.
That's my main focus right now. And yeah, honestly, like I don't really train only for competitions. I just train because I love calisthenics and I love like to keep improving and getting new tricks and just flowing and doing all these things. Yeah.
Roger, it was amazing. It was amazing talking with you. I'm enjoying this so much. Thank you so much for coming.
Of course, I'm here. Thank you so much.
We're very happy to have you. أعزائنا المتابعين، استمتعنا وايد مع روجر، وإن شاء الله نشوفكم في حلقة جديدة، قصة جديدة وفيتسر جديد. تابعونا.